Very warm greetings to all my dear students. In the previous chapter, we learned how to collect data through primary and secondary sources. The collected data is complex and unorganized mass of figures, which is very difficult to analyze and interpret. Whatever data we have collected it is not systematically arranged. It is unorganized. Therefore, in order to make the data capable of analyzing, means when we have collected data, there is a need of analyzing that data. Analyzing data is very important. Analyzing data is very important, and when the data is unorganized, there is need to organize it properly. Therefore, in order to make the data capable of analyzing, these are classified and tabulated. The collected data is classified into classes and subclasses according to some characteristics. This process is known as classification. So, we are going to learn today organization of data, and before going to understand the meaning of classification, let us understand the concept of organization of data. Organization of data refers to the arrangement of figures in such a form that the comparison of the mass of similar data may be facilitated and further analysis may be possible. Example, classification of data. We will focus on this classification. Classification of data is important. Classification means what? So, organization of data refers to the arrangement of figures in such a form that comparisons of the mass of similar data may be facilitated and further analysis may be possible. Example, classification of data. Now let us understand the concept of classification of data. Classification is the process of arranging data into sequence and groups according to their common characteristics. Means all data will be grouped on the basis of their common characteristics, or separating them into different but related parts. Means the data that we have collected will be arranged on the basis of certain characteristics. The process of grouping data according to their characteristics is known as classification of data. Now, what is the objectives of classification? These are the important points that you must remember always, because whenever we will be defining the characteristics, the objectives, most of the point you will find every time. Okay, to understand this concept, why it is important and what are the objectives of classification, let us start discussing this. To simplify complex data, to facilitate understanding, means the data that we have collected is complex and that need to be presented in a simple manner. To facilitate understanding, if we have collected data in haphazard manner, it will not be possible for us to understand what we have collected and what we are going to analyze from it. So, to facilitate understanding, it is very important to arrange or classify data. To facilitate comparison, when it is arranged, when it is qualified, then only it will be possible for us to compare, right? To make analysis and interpretation easy, and to arrange and put the data according to their common characteristics, these are the objectives of classification. Now, what is the prerequisite? What is required of a good classification? It should be suitable. Means whatever form that we will adopt for classifying, that should be suitable for that particular data, The classification should conform to the object of the inquiry. What we have collected, for why we have collected this data, what we have collected and why we have collected, that must be classified in such a manner, or that intentions must be clear in our mind while classifying the data. Unambiguous, whatever classification that we have made, that should be clear. There should not be any kind of confusion. Exhaustiveness, classification should be so exhaustive that every unit of the series should find place in one group or another, means it should be complete. Flexibility, a good classification should be capable of being adjusted according to the changed situation and conditions. It should be flexible. Mutually exclusive, the classes must not overlap so that an observed value belongs to one and only one of the classes. There must be no item which can find its way into more than one class. Okay, so that is required and should be stable. The principle of classification must, once decided, should remain same throughout the process of analysis. And homogeneity, similarity should be there in whatever format of classification we have selected. Okay, now talking about types of classification, there are different methods through which the data can be classified. It may be on a basis of geographical locations, on the basis of places of studies. Chronological, data is classified with respect to different periods of time. When we are classifying data on the basis of different periods of time, it is called chronological classifications. And qualitative classification, qualitative classification is a kind of a classification in which data is classified on the basis of descriptive characteristics. Means we have to describe the characteristics of the data, and on that basis it is going to be classified. Quantitative classification, it is that type of classification in which data is classified on the basis of characteristics which can be measured. And alphabetical classification, on the basis of alphabetical arrangement. So these are the types of classification. Let us understand one by one. When we are talking about geographical or spatial classification, when the data classified according to geographical location or regions like state, cities, regions, zones, etc., it is called a geographical classification. For example, the production of food grains in India may be presented state-wise in following manners. State-wise estimate of productions of food grains, we are going to classify data on the basis of different regions, or that is different states. Andhra Pradesh total food grains in 1000 tons was having the productions of any year. It is just taken for our understanding. It is not a specified period on which we are going to study, but it is taken in a particular year. And Andhra Pradesh, the total food grains productions was 1093.90. Bihar, it is 12,899.89. Karnataka 1834.78. Punjab 21,788.20. And Uttar Pradesh 41,828.30. So when we are classifying data on the basis of places, spatial classification, it is geographical classification. Now, chronological classification, when data are observed over a period of time, the type of classification is known as chronological classification. on the basis of its times of occurrence. It is what? On the basis of time of occurrence, how it has occurred in the time period. National income figures, annual output of wheat, monthly expenditure of a household, daily consumption of milk, etc., are some examples of chronological classification. For example, we may present the figure of populations or production, sales, etc. as follows. When we are talking about the productions, populations of India between 1941 to 1991, in the year 1941, the population was 31.87 crores. 1951, the population was 36.11 crores. In 1961, it is 43.91 crore, and in the year 1981, it was 68.33%. So likewise, we have classified the population on the basis of different years, and the census conducted on different years. So when the data is classified on the basis of time period, it is known as what? Chronological classification. Okay. Now let us talk about alphabetical classification. When the data are arranged according to alphabetical order, it is called alphabetical classification. For example, state-wise density of population in India is depicted in an alphabetical order below. How it is arranged? Showing the density of population in an alphabetical order. Name of the states: Andhra Pradesh, density of population per square meter kilometer is 157, Assam 150 square per square kilometer, Bihar 324 per square kilometer, Gujarat 136 per square kilometer, Haryana 225, Himachal Pradesh 62, Kerala 548 per square kilometer. So this is what we are showing the population in an alphabetical order. Okay. Now talking about the qualitative classification, we may first divide the population into male and females on the basis of the attribute sex. So each of this class may be further subdivided into means male literacy, female literacy, male illiterate, female literate, subdivided into literate and illiterate on the basis of attribute literacy. Further classification can be made on the basis of same other attributes, say employment, male employment, female employment. So this is what the classification of data is done on the basis of certain quality. Now quantitative classification. Quantitative classification refers to the classification of data according to some characteristics that can be measured, such as height, weight, income, sales, profit, production, etc. For example, the student of a college may be classified according to weight as follows. How many students are there between the weight group of 40 to 50? Number of students 60, 50 to 60, 50, 60 to 70, 28, 70 to 80, 20, 80 to 90, 12. So total number of students out of 170, they have been classified on the basis of weight, and we find that most of the students are having weight between 40 to 60. Majority are having this type of weight only. So this is what the data is classified on the basis of quantitative classification. Now, what is the characteristics of good classification? We have already defined our objectives, and we have come to know the fact that why it has been classified. So what is the characteristics of a good classification? The classification must be comprehensive, complete in all respect, clarity there should be clarity among what we have classified. Homogeneity, similarity should be there in the process of classification of data. Suitability, it should be suitable, and stable, should not be flexible. So these are the characteristics of good classification. In next class we will discuss more concept related with organization of data. Thank you, take care, and have a nice day.